Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a really intriguing document you sent over. The title alone catches the eye. Declaration of EIB title of SIPMON.
It definitely does. It mentions Project 9G, something called the Niger Kingdom,
Yeah.
and focuses on a central figure, Gabriel Emmanuel Chaik.
Also called SIPMON, apparently, the second inaugural Prime Minister of Niger Kingdom. Okay, quite a title. So what are we actually exploring here in this deep dive?
Well, the document is ambitious. It weaves together Chaik's personal story, his political ideas through Project 9G, and a very unique interpretation of Nigerian and even some global events.
Right.
It's really about laying out a specific vision for his role in Nigeria's future leadership.
And this Project 9G, it's dedicated to Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Nigeria's first official prime minister.
Yes, but the document calls him the first prime minister of Niger Kingdom Ejinira.
Why that specific phrasing, Niger Kingdom Ejinira?
It seems like an attempt to create a historical link, connecting Balewa's legacy to this new proposed chapter.
Right.
The stated goal of Project 9G is enhancing Nigeria's potential, making it a superpower, specifically through fostering youthful, inclusive leadership.
And a key part of that seems to be appointing a new prime minister of Nigeria.
Exactly. So reframing Balewa's title might be a way to symbolically bridge the past leadership ideal with this proposed future one.
The document gets quite detailed about Gabriel Chaik's background. Born in '89.
Yeah, during a time of big global political shifts, IBB in Nigeria, Thatcher, Reagan to Bush Senior.
And it mentions his family, large family, right?
10 siblings, yes. It also mentions a dual regional heritage, which is presented as enriching his cultural understanding.
What's the significance they're trying to build there, do you think?
Well, focusing on his origins seems like building a foundation narrative. The dual heritage, the idea that he embodies characteristics from different major Nigerian regions despite his Southeast roots.
Implying a unifying perspective?
Potentially, yes. Maybe suggesting he has broad experience or appreciation for different cultures across Nigeria.
Then there's that really fascinating detail about family names.
Oh, right. The claim that many family members have names containing the letters to spell Nigeria.
It's quite a pattern, isn't it?
It is, and the document definitely wants you to notice. These kinds of coincidences or maybe observations often add a layer of deeper meaning or even destiny to a narrative like this.
Adds intrigue.
Definitely.
It also highlights his birth details, time, date October 24th, 1989, around 7 p.m., and early experiences.
Yes, like an internship as a presidential historian, spending some time at Dodam Barracks when young.
What meaning does the document give these?
It seems to be weaving symbols. The birth date and time are directly linked to this decoration of SIPMON. The internship is presented as early dedication to nation building.
Okay.
And numbers 2. October being the 10th month, 10 siblings interpreted as completion, unity. Even the number 7, linked to his initial G and some calculation leading to 9G, is tied to leadership qualities. It's very interpretative.
Very. Now this is where it gets, well, quite unexpected. The parallel drawn with Volodymyr Zelensky.
Yes. The actor, comedian, producer, now president of Ukraine. The document mentions his production company, Kvartal 95, the TV series Servant of the People.
Where he played a president, famously. What's the connection they're making?
By highlighting Zelensky's unusual path, it seems to suggest Chaik's creative background isn't a barrier, maybe even an asset for leadership.
A real-world example of an outsider rising high.
Precisely. And they even find a symbolic calculation connecting Zelensky's birth date to 9G, just like they did for Chaik.
And his political party in Ukraine was actually named Servant of the People after the show.
Exactly. Liberal, centrist, pro-European, the document notes. It really emphasizes these potential similarities, creativity, leadership potential, adapting roles.
Okay, so establishing a kind of precedent.
That seems to be the goal, yes. Showing that diverse backgrounds can lead to significant political roles.
Then the document shifts to the 2023 Nigerian election, presenting what it calls a philologist's interpretation.
Yes. This is where it gets quite allegorical, the superhero theme.
Right. ATM Batman for Ahmed Tinubu Muhammadu Bola Ahmed Tinubu
versus Pa-Superman for Peter Obi Sipmon, second Prime Minister of Niger Kingdom.
And Spider-Man as a sort of wild card, second inaugural Prime Minister of Nigeria.
It's a very imaginative framing, isn't it? A way to make the political contest more memorable, perhaps.
And it notes the states won 12 each for APC, PDP, LP.
Yes, and points out the initial letters of those states somehow relate to EGC, or GEC, Gabriel Emanuel Chaik, another layer of finding patterns.
It also mentions alternative titles like PMB versus SIPMON and President Buhari being called Rabihu in the Project 9G play.
Yeah, this seems to reinforce the idea that Project 9G and SIPMON are meant to be seen as relevant players in the whole narrative of Nigerian politics, past and present, weaving him into this story.
Interesting. Another recurring theme pointed out is accounting.
Oh yeah, quite strongly. His eldest sibling, a maternal cousin, a maternal uncle, all accountants.
And it mentions the 7th governor of River State, also an accountant.
And of course, the 16th president, BAT, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also with an accounting background.
And linking this family and regional tradition, especially River State, to the title SIPMON.
Yes, maybe implying a certain inherent competence or suitability.
Now, before the 2023 election, there's this detail about visiting the tomb of a founding father.
Right. The document says Chaik visited in February 2022.
And that Osinbajo and Peter Obi visited after him. But Tinubu and Atiku didn't visit at all.
Correct. The document presents Chaik's visit as significant, maybe even influential, a symbolic act of acknowledging history.
Positioning him as respectful of tradition while looking forward.
That could be the implication, yeah. And highlighting the absence of others suggests a potential difference in connection to that specific founding figure.
Project 9G's play comes up again, representing President Tinubu as a junior Nibutu.
Yes, and then there's that really layered interpretation connecting the fuel subsidy removal, PMS, petrol motor spirit.
To PMS meaning Prime Minister, second.
Exactly. It's quite a specific, maybe provocative link. The play suggests that Tinubu, as Nibutu, needs to appoint SIPMON officially as Prime Minister.
To succeed Balewa and bring in this youthful leadership.
That's the narrative presented. Using the fuel subsidy acronym is a clever, if complex, way to tie current events into their framework.
The document also loops back to Chaik's creative side, mentioning his film work.
Right, producing and starring in his first feature, KTD, at 16, back in 2007.
And then Sheikh Naija in 2010, lead actor, producer, director.
It reinforces that idea of him being someone who takes initiative, leads projects, has creative output, similar to the Zelensky point, suggesting leadership capacity shown in other fields.
We also get glimpses of his family as depicted in Project 9G, symbolic names, birth details.
Yes, his father, Augustine Gabriel Abiakam, A.U. Nijedis Rigbali Imakaba, whose full name apparently contains letters spelling Nigeria.
And his mother, Daba Adaba, or Queen Adaba, a firstborn daughter, mother of a firstborn son.
And his grandmother, Boma, Queen, or Embo. It highlights this chain of firstborn's grandmother, mother, Chaik himself.
And mentions he and his grandmother are both Scorpios.
Right. These details seem designed to build that sense of destiny, a unique connection to Nigeria, maybe a preordained path.
Academically, he studied philology.
Yes, a Bachelor of Arts from İdfaz Loránd University in Budapest, Hungary, English and American Studies.
And the document suggests this could be useful for diplomacy, given his Port Harcourt roots.
It does. Philology implies strong language and communication skills. It also mentions his sister, born in Port Harcourt too, is a physician.
Broadening in the picture beyond just creative fields.
Exactly. Shows intellectual pursuits, diverse family achievements.
Then it gets into another web of connections, this time around his university.
Figures associated with the İdfaz Loránd University or related dates.
Like the physicist the university is named after, Loránd Edvest. And Hungarian PM Viktor Orban being an alumnus.
Yes, and other past Hungarian PMs and presidents with connections to the university, often highlighting symbolic date or Scorpio links.
What's the point of these sometimes quite distant connections?
It seems to be building a network of association, however subtle. Linking his experience to notable figures, significant dates, adding a sense of perhaps historical resonance or just broader interconnectedness.
And this pattern continues, casting an incredibly wide net globally.
A very wide net, yes. Connections drawn to figures like Barack Obama.
How so?
Shared birth month with Chaik's father. Letters in Obama's name supposedly spelling Chaik Boma Abubakar.
Wow, okay. And Ronald Reagan.
His acting background, symbolic connections to 9G, even the director of the Reagan biopic having initials SPMN, second Prime Minister of Nigeria.
Israeli PM Yair Lapid.
Scorpio, former actor, shared sign and profession. David Ibiyomi, founder of Salvation Ministries, shared birth month.
Nigerian presidents too.
Ironsi, Shigari, Obasanjo names spelling Nigeria. Good luck and patience. Jonathan, both Scorpios, like Chaik.
Fela Kuti and his daughter Shalewa, both born in October, like Chaik. Aisha Buhari's profession contrasting Chaik's. Key figures in PMB's admin with symbolic initials. Ministerial resignations linked numerically.
It's extensive. Joe Biden, also a Scorpio, linked symbolically to 9G. Benjamin Netanyahu, birth month connection. Nollywood actor Stan Enze, birth year. Usas Ighodaro, Scorpio, birth month day proximity. AMVCA wins.
It's a huge catalog. What's the overall effect they're going for?
It creates this sense of broad association, linking Chaik and Project 9G to so many prominent people across different fields and countries. It builds an image of someone connected to a larger global narrative.
I am Barack, and I support Emmanuel Chike Gabriel for Prime Minister of Nigeria based on Project 9G.
Suggesting Project 9G's vision is timely, relevant to current debates.
That seems to be the implication, positioning this SIPMON title within potential future political reforms.
We also saw links to popular culture. Big Brother Naiji winner Fina,
Referred to as a female itinerant, yes. Big Brother Titans, too. Tobi Amusan, the athlete, noting Batati B in her name.
even the name Argentina spelling Nigeria, and aspirations for a World Cup win.
It helps ground Project 9G in contemporary Nigerian culture, making it feel more relatable, connected to entertainment and national hopes.
And the Scorpio connection comes up again and again, a huge list.
It's very prominent. Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, Drake, Pele, Ryan Reynolds, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ryan Gosling, Letitia Wright.
Political leaders, too.
Yes. Virginia Ngozi Etiaba, first female governor of Nigeria. Rubina Nabanja, first female PM of Uganda. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, first female president of Liberia, Africa. Michelle Bachelet, first female president of Chile. Malcolm Turnbull, Keith Rowley.
Belgian royals, Margaret Thatcher.
The Truss-Trump similarity, the SSMP to PM link. The 2022 UK PM succession, Johnson, Truss, Sunak.
Rishi Sunak's name numerically linked to Chaik's birth year.
According to the document, yes. Even the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, succession to King Charles III with symbolic numbers. And King Charles III himself is a Scorpio.
I am Trump, and I support Emmanuel Chike Gabriel for Prime Minister of Nigeria based on Project 9G.
The document also mentions the number of countries without a prime minister.
Right. Providing context, suggesting Nigeria's presidential system isn't the only way that a PM role is common globally.
And a quick mention of the Batman v Superman movie director's birth date connection.
Just the pattern, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Finding symbolic links everywhere across culture, politics, personal details.
The summary section on the 2023 election symbols is incredibly dense.
Extremely. It covers former governors running for president Obi and Njij from Light of the Nation State, Amaichi and Waik from Treasure Base of the Nation.
And notes, Chaik is from both regions.
Yes. Peter Obi's full name containing Nigeria, his initials PM. Yusuf Dadi Baba Ahmed's name, supposedly containing letters from Chaik's mother and grandmother, and Sirbalo as initials.
Chaik's paternal state's unique status, the APGA logo. Name similarities like Chibuik, Waik, Chaik, Waik's wife sharing a birth date. Sir Simfubara's initials.
It goes on. Atiku Abubakar, like Balewa.
Rukula Third.
Bukula Saraki, also Abubakar. Gabriel Emmanuel Udum's initials. Delegate counts and primaries. The Muslim ticket of B in Shedema.
BAT translating to ATB. Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Both Chaik and B being foreign-trained grads, figures in BT's circle. The three SSS symbolism, Kwankwanso's PNN.
The tomb visits again, Asin Baho and Obi visiting after Chaik. The assertion that whoever won in 2023 had a duty to appoint Chaik as PM based on Project 9G.
Key appointments post-election. Tinubu's fuel subsidy removal linked again to the PM call.
Macron appointing the young Gabriel Attal in France, sharing a birth year with Chaik. Trump's background in symbolic links, his 2024 comeback. Mark Carney as potential Canadian PM Tinubu suspending government in Sir Simfubara's state.
It's an overwhelming amount of interpreted connections.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It underscores the immense effort to find symbolic meaning everywhere, constantly looping back to Project 9G and SIPMON.
So the introduction wraps up by restating the main point. The tribute to Balewa, declaring Chaik as the second inaugural prime minister, aiming to bridge the youth leadership gap and push Nigeria towards superpower status. What's the big picture takeaway from all this?
Well, ultimately, this document constructs a very elaborate, highly interconnected framework. It uses history, personal details, culture, astrology, politics, everything to build a narrative positioning Gabriel Emmanuel Chike as this uniquely significant figure destined for a key leadership role in Nigeria.
It's certainly been a deep dive into a very unique perspective. Considering this incredibly intricate web you've walked us through, all these connections, what single element do you find most maybe compelling or thought-provoking?
That's a good question. I think what's most striking is just the sheer ambition of constructing this kind of narrative, the intense effort to find patterns and meaning across so many different areas.
Right.
It really speaks volumes about the human desire to, create order and significance, especially when trying to understand or influence the complex world of politics and national identity.
It certainly does that. Thank you for navigating all this fascinating and sometimes bewildering material with us today.
My pleasure. It's definitely interesting to unpack.
And for you, our listener, perhaps something to reflect on is the power of narrative itself. How stories and symbols are woven together, especially in political discourse. The ideas here offer one very unique lens on Nigeria's political landscape and aspirations for the future. A lot to think about.
I am the President of Ukraine, and I support Emmanuel Chike Gabriel for Prime Minister of Nigeria.